This week on Alan's Antics, I'm going to tell you that, straight out of the gate, that I'm for Brexit. I want to get out of the EU, but still be part of Europe. 38 Degrees have released their recent video. 38 Degrees members believe in democracy, that the more of us who get involved, the better, and nearly 250,000 of us voted on our people-powered plan for the EU referendum. Together, we voted to stay neutral and make sure that everyone in the UK has enough information to make an informed choice. This is the second of what will be many more fact checks to come, assessing claims made by both sides of the EU referendum. Now, if you go to the YouTube version of the video, there are lots of comments. 38 Degrees started off the comments by saying, for sources, read the full fact check at fullfact.org/EU-referendum-voting-guide. Here come the comments. Fact 1. If we give 20 billion and get 10 billion back, does it take an economist to realise that we are 10 billion better off if we leave the EU? Next, Europe doesn't pay for our public services. We do. So this reeks of nonsense. You need to cite your sources, not just say, our experts say. And that's been followed up with exactly. I've always thought that 38 Degrees were more likely a government-funded distraction than real campaigners about anything. Their stance on the BBC recently got me annoyed. Anyone who does any research or even listens to the drivel they put out on a daily basis knows the BBC are the propaganda department of the government, and 38 Degrees wanted us to sign petitions to help them. 38 Degrees are so dumb they're transparent. Here they are again in fine form. Most economists say? How is that fact-checking? Which economists did you ask? The ones hired by the government for their campaign? This is a very poor video, covering only a fraction of the information on the Leave Remain issue. Far better information is available from many other sources. Not your best effort, 38 Degrees. Stick to your petitions. That was the worst fact comparison I have seen. Definitely one-sided too. Hardly a comprehensive breakdown. I'm still largely none the wiser. This seems heavily biased in favour of the in vote. A vote to remain is a vote to end all sovereignty and give up our hard-fought right to independence to a bunch of unelected, unaccountable, failed politicians in Brussels in the name of all that's holy, Brexit. Couldn't agree more. This is an in-campaign bias. What a refreshing change from the massively biased mainstream media, don't you think? I shall vote for what seems good to me. I smart at the line, immigrants may have an effect on public services. There is no may about it. Adding well over 250,000 each and every year certainly has an effect. Thanks for the video. A big claim made by the In campaign is that we'll be safer in the EU. Can you please fact check this claim? Thanks. Why would there be less money for public services like the NHS? Vote Leave. I agree with them. This is a piece of in propaganda. Nothing more, nothing less. And just saying our experts say is not fact-checking 38 Degrees. EU citizens are sent referendum polling cards. Multiple reports are emerging that EU citizens have been sent polling cards despite not having a vote in the referendum. Jakub Pawalski, a Polish citizen living in Kingston, Surrey, says, I have been living in the UK since 2006, but never applied for British citizenship. I recently bought a house, and in December 2015, right after completion, filled the form to get registered on the electoral roll. I have selected there that I'm a Polish citizen. I could therefore vote in London mayoral elections this month. However, recently I got a polling card for the upcoming referendum on EU membership. non-British EU citizens do not have a vote in the referendum. There are reports of similar stories elsewhere. So the vote rigging has begun, even before the referendum day arrives. Are you ready for some left-wing scaremongering? Here we go. This from tuc.org.uk. Wages would be £38 a week lower outside the EU, says TUC report. Better off in working people and the case for remaining in the EU launched today by the TUC, the Trade Union Congress. TUC General Secretary Francis O'Grady set out the negative impact Brexit will have on wages, jobs, and the rights at work. Oh my God. Be scared. Here comes the fear porn. Are you ready? The report finds that by 2030, the average weekly wage will be £38 lower if Britain leaves the EU. By 2030? It's going to take 15 years, and for many working people whose wages have not yet recovered since the 2007 crash, it was actually 2008, this would be a high price to pay. The report also finds that Brexit would have a particularly devastating impact on Britain's manufacturing firms. You mean that's not already happened? Thanks to Thatcher. Oh, see how they want you scared? See how they want the fear to be instilled in you so you tick that Remain box? Instead of doing the right thing and getting us out of the EU so that we can continue trading fairly and equally with our partners in Europe. Just like the Chinese do. Just like the Americans do. Just like the Indians do. Just like the Canadians do, just like the rest of the world does. We would become a part of the rest of the world, and we would trade with Europe just like the rest of the world, who is making a very healthy profit. Thank you very much. Well, that was just a little snapshot of the week on Alan's Antics on RadioFreeUK.org. To hear the full recordings and a whole lot more, go to RadioFreeUK.org. And there'll be more next week. Take care and have a safe one.